I'm back, motherfucker.
Steelers are back.
Yesterday's performance brought a tear to my eye. We're back, baby. The culture, the mentality. Pittsburgh Steelers football is back.
We rise! This is Steeler football! Let's run the fucking ball! Let's go!
You can feel the vibes too, right? How the players were talking after the game, how the players looked during the game, everyone was bought in. You have the quarterback, Kenny Pickett, running 30, 40 yards downfield to block for Najee Harris. That's heart and effort right there. And yesterday wasn't perfect. There's still some stuff we got to clean up on both sides of the ball, probably more offensively than defensively. But yesterday's performance is what we've grown to love about Pittsburgh Steelers football. Even if it ain't always pretty, we're not the ones getting bullied. We're the ones imposing our will. And what you got to love, too, is Steelers could have won by a lot more. You had 2 missed field goals by Matthew Wright. That's 6 points right there. You can blame Matthew Wright, but probably if some of you guys are blaming me, did I jinx him because I got too excited when we signed him, saying that he was going to replace Boz like it was nothing? Sorry for that. Don't give up on Matthew Wright just yet. Don't give up on him. I still think he's a good kicker. But also, Najee Harris dropped the 1 touchdown. I know it would be a tough catch, particularly for a running back, but you at least got to appreciate the placement by Pickett, throwing in there and almost like double coverage in that tight window. But yeah, think of all the points that we left out on the board. It could have been a bigger margin of victory for the Steelers. Defense played absolutely phenomenal. No points in the second half. They were lights out. Outside of that, I don't know if you want to call it fluky drive right before halftime that Dalton and the Saints were able to score a touchdown. Outside of that, yeah, the defense was very stout. And it's one of those performances, I think going back to the Bucs game, right? We talked about how literally every player made a play. So just think about it. Cam Hayward, TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, Ogunjobi, Montravius Adams, Devin Bush, and Robert Spillane. And even though Spillane was getting cooked, and in particular that drive right before halftime with Dalton, don't forget about the 4th down stop that he made. And both of those linebackers, I mean, they stepped up with Miles Jack being out. So big-time credit there. Cam Sutton, Levi Wallace, Arthur Mallette, Terrell Edmonds, Monty Casey. Everyone. Like literally everyone I just named. Can't you all envision a play or two as I was going through the list? But if I had to point out a couple stars in particular, you got to go with TJ Watt, obviously. His first game back since week 1. His presence was felt. There's some stat out there where I think it's a 10-point differential that our defense gives up with TJ Watt in the lineup versus when he's not there. And you could just see it too. He's making plays in the run game. He gets the sack, but also open things up for Alex Highsmith, who is proving more and more week by week why he's a great player in his own right. Tied for 4th in the league with 8.5 sacks, but also made some splash by getting the strip on Andy Dalton. And then in the secondary, Levi Wallace with the sick-ass pick towards the end of the game to seal the deal. But then to Monty Casey, the man of the hour. His first game as a Pittsburgh Steeler in the regular season. Everything from the preseason carried over into this game. And I'm just sitting around wondering, like, what am I missing here? Like, why were the Steelers able to get this dude for basically a 1-year deal on the vet minimum? Like, we see the type of plays he's making out on the field. He looks like a pretty damn good safety. How is Omar Khan in the front office able to pull that off? And even aside from him, think of the other guys that we brought in. Miles Jack, Larry Ogunjobi. We got Terrell Edmonds back on, like, what, a $2 million deal? Levi Wallace. All reasonable deals and all players making big-time plays for this defense. But man, Casey backed up his talk from the interview earlier in this week heading into the game where he was like, hey man, we got to catch the ball. Literally got an interception. He's 1 for 1 right now. But not only that, the big hits and making his presence known out there. I mean, he stepped in place of Minka and it didn't even look like we really missed a beat. I know TJ Watt being back surely helps with that. But if Minka's out for, 2-3 weeks to maybe a month, I'm a little bit less concerned than what I was going into this game. But then switching to the other side of the ball on offense, I think Pickett played really solid, man. 18 for 30, 199, 0 picks, clean game, and then also had the rushing touchdown. And all of his incompletions, those 12, out of the 30, none of them were close to being interceptions. It was either they were throwaways or they were put in only a spot where the receiver could catch it. And there were some close drops, too. It could have even been a better game for Pickett. His rushing helped. I think he had like 50 yards on the ground, was extending drives, making some good plays out there when nothing was there. Now, yeah, there could be improvement with him, but I think we're seeing his growth right before our very eyes. Led the team proper, and that damn QB sneak is undefeated. I think he's literally 100% for it. So anytime we're in like a 4th and 1 or a 3rd and 1 scenario, let's just run that. He obviously knows what he's doing there. But what can't go unnoticed, and I think is another big reason as to why Pickett looked better this game and looked more comfortable out there, was the run game we got going. Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren, they were the stars of this one. One of the stats out there is this was like the first 200-plus yard rushing game for the Steelers since that Bill Snow game back in 2016 with Le'Veon Bell. Got to give credit to the O-line and their blocking, not only for Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris's performances, but also for Pickett too. There were times he was sitting back there in a clean pocket. I'm like, holy shit, he's got a ton of time. And it wasn't perfect, though. Sometimes things were muddled up in the run game, but I'm slowly liking what the offensive line has been putting together this season. The Eagles game was a little bit of a downtick, but obviously we're getting back on that uptick after their performance against the Saints. I feel like this is the identity we were trying to find in the first half of the season. Run the ball, have the quarterback clutch up, make some big plays when you need it, and then play awesome defense. That's exactly what took place in yesterday's game. And we're seeing the big formations too. We're seeing some more Derek Watt, Connor Hayward, Zach Gentry's out there for over half of the game. So it looks like we're really starting to commit to the run, and this could be a good formula for us to be winning. And it's not like, I don't think we didn't want to commit to the run in the first half of the season. It was just like there were too many games where we get down by double digits in the first quarter or the second quarter, and we feel like you got to pass to get back in the game, because you don't know if your defense is going to hold up. You're thinking it's going to be a shootout. But when the defense and everything's working in all facets, this is the type of overall team win that we can get. So I'm liking this, man. I think we might be hitting our stride at the right time. It still sucks that we had to go 2-6 in the first half. We could have easily been 500 or better, but it is what it is. Shout out to Canada. Shout out to Tomlin. Shout out to the coaching staff for the game plan and everything for this one. Now, again, like everything, like with the defense, like with the offense, there's parts that could have been better. There's parts that could have been better with the play calling. But overall, man, let's just enjoy this victory Monday and focus on that other shit later. Hope you guys enjoyed this edition of Big Deke News. Stay chilling. Let me know what you guys thought of the game down in the comments. Peace.